For centuries, the world has marveled at the pyramids of Giza, with their perfect geometry, massive scale, and mystery that defies our understanding. The ancient Egyptians built these structures with such precision that even modern technology struggles to replicate them. But here's the real question. How did they do it? What if everything we think we know about the pyramids is wrong? What if these divine structures were more than just tombs for pharaohs? What if they were designed by beings not of this world, beings with knowledge far beyond human comprehension, beings who descended from the heavens, bringing with them secrets of the cosmos, divine geometry, and powerful knowledge? And what if I told you that these beings were not gods, but fallen angels, angels who were cast down and hid the truth from mankind? Imagine this. The ancient Egyptians were not alone in their quest for knowledge. They were guided, not by gods, but by fallen angels who shared their knowledge of the stars, the universe, and sacred geometry. The pyramids were not just structures, they were the embodiment of forbidden wisdom, knowledge that would change everything we know about the spiritual realm, the cosmos, and the very foundations of our civilization. But here's the twist. This knowledge was deliberately erased from history. Erased not because it was wrong, but because it was too powerful, too dangerous for humanity to fully understand. The truth of the pyramids and their connection to these fallen angels was kept hidden, buried beneath layers of time, and locked away by those who feared what might happen if humanity ever learned the real story. So, what are we left with? We are left with a history of secrets, a story of ancient wisdom that has been lost. The pyramids, the perfect monuments of a forgotten era, continue to stand as silent witnesses to this hidden knowledge. But what if we're only scratching the surface? What if the true origins of the pyramids were influenced by angelic beings who walked the earth long before we ever knew their names? As we dive deeper into this mystery, think about the implications. What if the fallen angels, not just in Christianity but across all ancient cultures, were responsible for the rise of ancient Egypt's wisdom? What if their knowledge shaped the way Egyptians understood the universe, its structure, its creation, its power? The story we're about to unfold may redefine everything you thought you knew about these legendary structures. And it gets even more mysterious. The influence of these angels wasn't just limited to the architecture of the pyramids. They taught the Egyptians the secret sciences, the mystical arts of alchemy, astronomy, and divine geometry. They were the true architects of Egypt's greatest achievements. But why then are they absent from the official record? What is being kept from us, hidden in plain sight? What if these angels were deliberately erased from the story of Egypt to prevent us from understanding their true power? The more we learn, the more we realize. The pyramids were never just monuments to a king. They were celestial beacons designed to hold the secrets of the universe, passed down by the fallen angels who walked among us. The real story of the pyramids has been lost, buried by those who feared it. But now we're going to unearth it together. Stay with me as we uncover the untold truths behind these ancient structures, the forbidden knowledge hidden within, and the angels who shaped it all. In ancient texts, there are stories of beings descending from the heavens, divine, powerful, and full of knowledge. They were called shades or angels, and they shared their wisdom with humanity. But there's a twist to these stories, a detail that's often hidden or glossed over. These angels weren't just divine messengers, they were fallen. Why does this matter? Why are these angels different from the usual celestial figures we read about in religious texts? It's because these were not just any angels. They were the fallen angels, cast down from the heavens for reasons that have remained a mystery for centuries. And these angels didn't just bring divine messages. They brought with them forbidden knowledge, knowledge that humanity was never meant to have. But what was so dangerous about this knowledge? Why were these angels cast down for sharing it? One of the most detailed accounts of these fallen angels comes from the Book of Enoch, an ancient text that didn't make it into the Bible. According to the book, these angels didn't just come down to speak with humanity, they descended with purpose. They were known as the Watchers, beings sent to observe and guide. But they broke the rules, teaching humans things they were never meant to know. They didn't just pass on basic knowledge. They gave humanity the tools to change their world forever. They taught us astronomy, mathematics, and sacred geometry. They revealed the movements of the stars, the secrets of the universe, and the deeper hidden aspects of creation. They showed us how to shape the earth, how to create monuments that aligned with celestial bodies, and how to understand divine principles hidden in the natural world. But why did these angels give such powerful knowledge to humanity? And why was it so dangerous? It's because the wisdom they shared didn't just empower us, it changed us. Suddenly, humans had the ability to not only understand the natural world, but to manipulate it. The Egyptians, for example, used these teachings to create their pyramids, their temples, and their ancient rituals. Sacred geometry was no longer a mystery. They were able to align structures with the stars, create monuments that reflected cosmic order, and understand the forces of nature in ways that ordinary humans never could. Imagine it, the knowledge of the universe, the secrets of the stars, the very building blocks of creation being shared with humanity. And what do we do with it? We build, we transform, we create incredible civilizations. But at what cost? The knowledge wasn't meant for us. It was divine, powerful, and perhaps too much for us to handle. The fallen angels, by teaching us these secrets, gave us the ability to reshape our world. But in doing so, they set us on a path that was never meant to be followed. The problem wasn't just that they gave us knowledge. The real issue was that this knowledge changed the balance of power. The Egyptians were not the only ones to receive these teachings. Across the ancient world, civilizations grew rapidly because of the influence of these fallen angels. But as they rose, so did the danger of this forbidden knowledge. Could humans handle it? Could we wield the power of the stars without being consumed by it? This leads to a deeper question. Were these fallen angels truly evil? Or were they simply doing the bidding of a higher power, giving humanity the knowledge it was destined to have? Were they fallen because they disobeyed? Or were they cast down for trying to elevate humanity beyond its limits? Perhaps the most fascinating part of this story is that these angels weren't just observers. They were the architects of human knowledge. They taught us how to read the stars, how to craft sacred spaces, and how to align ourselves with cosmic forces. But more importantly, they gave us the tools to change the world. The ancient Egyptians didn't just build the pyramids. They created a civilization that was rooted in these divine principles, a civilization that would be remembered for millennia. And the pyramids of Giza, those incredible, awe-inspiring structures, are the perfect example of the forbidden knowledge passed down from the fallen angels. These structures were built with perfect geometry and precision, aligning with the stars in ways that seem impossible without advanced knowledge of the cosmos. Who else could have given this information, if not beings who had seen the workings of the universe firsthand? But why were these angels punished for sharing such incredible knowledge with us? It's a question that still lingers. Were the fallen angels truly punished for helping humanity, or was there something darker in their motives? Something more divine? They didn't just want us to understand the earth, they wanted us to understand everything. Cosmic secrets, the nature of life and death, the universe's design. And this knowledge, shared at such a pivotal moment in history, altered the course of civilization forever. So let's return to the fallen angels. They were divine beings who shared their cosmic wisdom with humanity, transforming our understanding of the world. They didn't just teach us how to build pyramids. They gave us the keys to the universe. But in doing so, they not only changed the trajectory of human history, they opened the door to knowledge that humanity was never meant to possess. And now, thousands of years later, we are left to grapple with the question, what should we have done with this knowledge? And perhaps more importantly, what have we done with it? The story of the fallen angels is far from over. Their knowledge lives on, buried in the pyramids, in the sacred texts, in the hidden corners of the earth. And one thing is certain, the truth about the fallen angels and the forbidden wisdom they shared with humanity will continue to shape us, whether we realize it or not. The pyramids of Giza are truly one of the most awe-inspiring feats of engineering in human history. Standing tall and powerful, they have baffled scholars, historians, and engineers for thousands of years. No one can deny their grandeur and the precision with which they were built. But there's one question that continues to haunt us all. How were these magnificent structures designed with such mathematical perfection? Even with all of our modern technology, the exact methods used to build the pyramids remain elusive. The Great Pyramid, one of the seven wonders of the ancient world, aligns almost perfectly with the cardinal directions. It sits at the apex center of the landmass of the Earth, and it even aligns with the North Pole and certain constellations in the night sky. This kind of precision, this knowledge of the cosmos, could not have come from ordinary means. Could it have been divine intervention? Imagine this, a civilization without modern tools, without the scientific understanding we have today, somehow constructing a monument with perfect alignment to the stars. And not just one pyramid, but all three of the Great Pyramids of Giza are precisely placed, forming an exact replica of the Belt of Orion. The Egyptians, ancient as they were, seemed to have an intimate understanding of the cosmic forces, something so advanced that it defies logic even today. So where did this knowledge come from? Divine wisdom, or was there something more? Some believe that this advanced understanding came from beings who were not of this world. What if the Egyptians weren't just guided by gods, but by fallen angels? Angels who were cast down from heaven and chose to share forbidden knowledge with humanity? What if these beings, knowledgeable in sacred geometry and celestial alignment, taught the Egyptians how to harness these forces and build monuments that would stand the test of time? The Great Pyramid is a perfect example of this. It is not just a massive tomb, but a highly sophisticated structure that encodes mathematical secrets. The pyramid's base is almost perfectly level, a feat that is nearly impossible to replicate even with today's tools. The alignment to the stars, the mathematical precision, the perfect proportions, all suggest the use of sacred geometry, a system of knowledge passed down by beings who understood the very forces that govern the universe. But the question still lingers, why were the ancient Egyptians given access to this knowledge? Was it a gift from celestial beings, meant to help them build a great civilization? Or was it a curse, a dangerous knowledge that was never meant to be shared with humanity? And if these angels did indeed impart their wisdom, why has this knowledge been kept hidden for so long? What are we missing? What have we been kept in the dark about? When we look closely at the design of the pyramids, we see more than just architecture. The layout, the proportions, the way they interact with the stars, everything about them seems to suggest a deep cosmic understanding. Sacred geometry isn't just a mathematical system. It's a system that aligns the physical world with the spiritual and the cosmic. It is a blueprint for the universe itself, one that transcends time and space. Is it possible that the knowledge of sacred geometry, which was used to build the pyramids, was passed down from angels who had access to secrets the rest of us weren't meant to understand? What if this ancient wisdom was given to the Egyptians as a means of connecting heaven and earth, bringing the divine into the material world? Could these fallen angels, with their cosmic understanding, have guided the Egyptians in such a way that they became masters of geometry, mathematics, and astronomy? And it's not just the pyramids. Think about the temples, the monuments, and the entire civilization of ancient Egypt. They had an advanced understanding of the stars, of time, and of the universe, things that we still struggle to comprehend fully today. But this cosmic knowledge wasn't just about practical science. The Egyptians believed that their connection to the bonds and to the universe itself was established through divine proportions and sacred geometry. Could this knowledge have been a gift from beings who once walked among them? What is even more intriguing is that many of these divine structures, these monuments, align perfectly with the cosmic calendar. They mirror the movement of the stars, the changing of the seasons, and the cycles of the universe. And some have even theorized that the Great Pyramid itself was a spiritual gateway, a portal through which divine energy could flow from the heavens to the earth. But why were the Egyptians able to harness such knowledge? What gave them the key to unlock the secrets of the cosmos? Was this knowledge shared with them by fallen angels, who in their defiance of the heavens sought to guide humanity towards greater understanding? Or was it something darker, something more dangerous that was imparted to Egypt to help them unlock the secrets of immortality, the mysteries of life, and the power over death? Whatever the truth, the fact remains that the pyramids were not just symbols of earthly power. They were symbols of a cosmic blueprint that connected the heavens with the earth. And the question remains, how did the ancient Egyptians possess this divine knowledge? And why was it hidden for so long? The story of the pyramids, of sacred geometry, and of the angels who shaped this ancient wisdom is far from over. The truth, though shrouded in mystery, is waiting to be uncovered. And the more we learn about the pyramids and the cosmic knowledge they contain, the closer we come to unlocking the divine secrets that have been hidden for millennia. What if I told you that ancient Egypt held far more wisdom than we've been taught? What if the secrets of their civilization went far beyond the pyramids, the pharaohs, and the Book of the Dead? Beneath the sands of time lie lost texts, forgotten prophecies, and ancient knowledge that have been hidden from us for centuries. These secrets, buried deep in the heart of Egypt's history, whisper about the true origins of the civilization's wisdom, knowledge that was deliberately erased from the official record. For centuries, the pyramids have been the focus of our fascination with ancient Egypt. We marvel at their perfect design, their alignment with the stars, and the mathematical precision they possess. But what if the most important secrets aren't found within these monumental structures at all? What if the true wisdom of Egypt was hidden away in texts, scrolls, and teachings that were deliberately removed from history? We know of the Book of the Dead, Egypt's most famous text about the afterlife, but that's only a glimpse of the knowledge they once had. The ancient Egyptians understood the mysteries of life and death, yes, but they also had a deeper understanding of time, the stars, and the very creation of the universe. What was their true understanding of the cosmos? How did they know how to align their temples, pyramids, and monuments with such precision, all based on celestial patterns? Some scholars believe that much of this knowledge came from divine sources, the fallen angels. The angels who, as ancient texts like the Book of Enoch describe, descended from the heavens and shared their forbidden wisdom with humanity. What if the ancient Egyptians were not just receiving wisdom from their gods, but from beings who were once part of the heavenly court, beings who fell from grace, bringing forbidden knowledge with them? This lost wisdom wasn't just about practical knowledge. It was knowledge that could reshape the world. The Egyptians didn't just build monuments, they built their understanding of the universe itself. They knew the movements of the stars, the cycles of time, and even the secrets of immortality. Their knowledge of sacred geometry wasn't just about building, it was about understanding the very structure of reality, a cosmic order that governed not just Earth, but the heavens themselves. But here's where the mystery deepens. This knowledge wasn't meant to be shared with the world forever. As time passed, much of this wisdom was erased. Scrolls and texts were destroyed. Temples were left abandoned, their knowledge hidden away. What was so powerful about this knowledge that it needed to be concealed? Was it to prevent humanity from becoming too powerful? From reaching a level of understanding that could threaten the divine order? The Egyptian priests understood the dangers of this wisdom. They didn't just guard the secrets, they protected humanity from them. Could the knowledge of the stars, the creation of life, and the understanding of divine forces have been too much for mankind to handle? The Egyptians themselves believed that this wisdom had to be protected from the unworthy. Forbidden knowledge can be just as dangerous as it is enlightening. Why else would such knowledge be so carefully hidden? Why else would certain texts be deliberately removed from the record? But the question remains, why did the Egyptians choose to conceal these secrets? Was it because they feared the power of this knowledge? Or was it because they believed only a select few should have access to the divine wisdom that could unlock the mysteries of the universe? Could there be something so powerful about the ancient Egyptians' understanding of time, the stars, and the very fabric of reality that humanity was simply not ready to know? In the vast chambers beneath the pyramids and in the halls of their great temples were texts, sacred writings that outline these cosmic principles. The knowledge of the divine structure of the universe, of life and death, of the stars above and the earth below, was locked away. The most potent parts of Egyptian knowledge were never meant to be shared with the world at large. And as centuries passed, the world forgot them, only to wonder, even today, how a civilization so ancient could have known so much about the world the heavens, and the divine. The Egyptians weren't just builders of stone. They were guardians of a greater cosmic truth, a truth hidden within the architecture, the pyramids, and the very fabric of their culture. And that truth, that wisdom of the one, the one that could shape reality itself, was a gift from the angels. But it came at a price. This wisdom was so dangerous, so powerful, that it was hidden from the world to protect humanity from itself. And so the lost wisdom of Egypt remains buried, locked away in ancient texts and hidden monuments. The knowledge of the cosmos, of divine architecture, of sacred geometry. This was not just the work of mortals, but of beings who once walked among the stars. The real question we must now ask ourselves is, what will we do when this knowledge is revealed again? Because some secrets were meant to be forgotten, and some perhaps were meant to remain hidden forever. When we think of ancient Egypt, we often picture its magnificent monuments, the towering pyramids, the vast temples, and the mighty Sphinx. But there's more to Egypt than just stone and sand. Deep within its culture, its religion, and its most sacred practices, there's a thread that runs through everything, a connection to something otherworldly, something divine. What if I told you that the gods and goddesses of Egypt weren't just figures of worship, but embodiments of fallen angels? What if the very mysticism of Egypt was influenced, guided, and even controlled by these angels? We know the names: Isis, Osiris, Horus. These deities, these gods and goddesses, are the foundation of Egyptian belief. They're powerful symbols of life, death, and rebirth. They represent the sun, the sky, the underworld. But what if these gods weren't simply mythological figures? What if they were the physical manifestations of fallen angels who descended to earth bringing their forbidden knowledge to Egypt? What if these angels, who were cast down from heaven, decided to take human form, guiding humanity with their celestial wisdom? To the Egyptians, these gods weren't just distant, ethereal beings. They were very much a part of their world, their lives, and their culture. Isis, for example, wasn't just a goddess of magic. She was the ultimate symbol of motherhood, of protection, and of healing. Osiris was the gen of the afterlife, holding the secrets of death and rebirth. And Horus, one of the most prominent gods, was the embodiment of kingship, strength, and victory in battle. These deities were seen as powerful protectors, bringing order to the chaotic world of Egypt. But here's the mystery: what if these gods weren't just symbolic? What if they were fallen angels, beings who had once been part of heaven's divine plan, but were cast down to earth for defying the order of the divine? What if Isis, Osiris, and Horus weren't the gods the Egyptians thought they were, but powerful angels who had come to earth to shape their destiny? What if these angels were guiding not only Egypt's religion, but its culture, its rituals, its entire way of life? The rituals and temples of ancient Egypt seemed to be built around these divine beings. But how did the Egyptians know how to honor them so precisely? The practices of the Egyptian priesthood, the vast temples dedicated to these gods, and the sacred rituals they performed all seemed to come from a place of cosmic understanding. Their religious practices weren't just about worship. They were about maintaining balance with forces far greater than anything we can imagine. These forces weren't just gods in the traditional sense. They were beings who had walked the earth, shaping human knowledge and culture. What if these deities weren't just intermediaries between humans and gods, but actual beings who shared their knowledge of the stars, alchemy, and astronomy? What if the Egyptians were taught by these fallen angels about the very structure of the universe, and their deep understanding of sacred geometry and divine mathematics was not of earthly origin? The Egyptians didn't just have gods. They had sacred knowledge passed down through divine beings. Alchemy, astronomy, and the creation of sacred temples were the tools that these angels shared with humanity. This was mysticism, yes, but it was also a system that could connect the earthly with the heavenly, the known with the unknown. The secrets that these angels taught weren't just about survival, they were about understanding the very fabric of existence itself. What if the Egyptians were using angelic wisdom to connect with divine forces, to bend the laws of nature, and to understand the very structure of the universe. Could the ancient Egyptians have been tapping into a mystical energy, a power that they inherited from these fallen angels? What if their knowledge of the stars, their alignment of the pyramids, and their understanding of life and death all came from celestial beings who once walked among them? And then there's the question, why were these fallen angels willing to share this divine knowledge? Was it a gift or was it a curse? Were they truly looking to help humanity, or were they merely using the Egyptians as pawns in a larger cosmic game? Some say these angels wanted to elevate humanity to a higher level of consciousness, to help us unlock the secrets of the universe. Others believe they shared this knowledge to control humanity, to bind us to forces that were never meant to be understood. Whatever their intentions, one thing is clear. The knowledge they shared with Egypt changed the course of history. The religious practices, the mystical rituals, and the incredible advancements in science and architecture, these were all gifts that came from a hidden source. The ancient Egyptians, in turn, built their culture around these celestial teachings, creating a civilization that was guided by the very forces of the universe itself. The fallen angels who shaped Egypt didn't just influence their religion and culture, they shaped their destiny. And as we uncover these hidden truths, we begin to see how these divine beings, their knowledge, and their influence are woven deeply into the fabric of ancient Egypt. Could it be that the very mysticism that fueled this ancient civilization was not just spiritual wisdom, but angelic knowledge, knowledge that, over time, has been hidden from humanity? That's the mystery we must unravel. For centuries, there has been a mystery that has baffled historians, archaeologists, and religious scholars alike. The pyramids, the temples, the ancient crypts of Egypt, all of them hold secrets that we have yet to fully understand. What if these monuments were not just structures of stone, but guardians of hidden knowledge? Knowledge so powerful that it was kept hidden from the world? What if the fallen angels who once walked the earth still influence our lives today? These angels didn't just leave when they were cast down, they stayed. They chose to remain here, weaving their influence into the very fabric of civilization. But this influence, this divine wisdom, was not something humanity was meant to have. As the Egyptian civilization grew, their priests and kings knew the importance of secrecy. They understood that the knowledge imparted by these angels was far too dangerous for the world to wield. And so they hid it, buried it deep, and erased it from history. The question is, why? Why has this knowledge remained hidden for so long? Why have we only seen glimpses of it? Was it to protect humanity, or was there something more at play? What were these fallen angels teaching, and what was so dangerous about their knowledge that it had to be concealed from the public? Was it the power of the stars, the ancient wisdom of the cosmos, or something even more profound? Let's take a step back and look at the story these hidden angels tell. For centuries, whispers have circulated about the divine influence on Egypt's architecture, religious practices, and technological advancements. The Egyptians constructed elaborate rituals and mystical practices, all built around this hidden knowledge. Their sacred texts, now largely lost or destroyed, were full of instructions, insights, and divine truths passed down by beings who were once part of heaven's court. But the Egyptians didn't stop at keeping these secrets from the common people. They protected these divine teachings with rituals, encoded messages, and a powerful system of guardians, the angels themselves. These guardians didn't just watch over the Egyptians, they shaped them. The ancient wisdom they shared created the very foundations of Egypt's culture and belief system, and yet it was all done in secret. The more we dig into Egypt's history, the more we realize that these angels weren't just celestial beings. They were deeply entwined with human culture. They didn't merely guide the Egyptians spiritually, they played a hands-on role in shaping the physical and metaphysical structures of their world. The pyramids, the temples, the alignments of the stars, these were not just the products of human ingenuity, they were the result of angelic influence, passed down through generations, carefully hidden from the wrong hands. And yet, despite all their efforts to protect these secrets, these guardians couldn't keep everything hidden. Underneath the sands of time, in the chambers of the pyramids, locked away in crypts, these truths still remain. Could it be that the real purpose of these structures was not just to honor pharaohs, but to preserve the divine knowledge shared by the fallen angels? Could it be that we're still only scratching the surface of the secrets the Egyptians were entrusted with? Now here we are, thousands of years later, asking questions that the ancients themselves may have been too afraid to answer. What will we do when these secrets are finally uncovered? Will we embrace the knowledge these angels left behind? Or will we ignore the power they still hold over us? What will happen when the divine truths about life, death, and the cosmos are no longer hidden? Will we understand them, or will we repeat the mistakes of the past and bury them again? The fallen angels didn't just shape the past. They shaped the future of humanity. Their influence can still be felt today, but only if we are willing to unlock the secrets they left behind. The knowledge of these angels is not just about the past, it's about our future. And as the guardians of this divine wisdom remain hidden, the question still stands. Will we ever fully understand what they were trying to teach us? The hidden influence of the fallen angels remains one of the greatest mysteries of our world. Their secrets, buried beneath the sands of time, are just waiting to be uncovered. And as we close this chapter, one thing remains clear. These angels weren't just guardians of knowledge. They were watchers, waiting for the right moment to reveal the truth. And maybe, just maybe, that time is now. If you're fascinated by these hidden truths and the secrets that have been kept from humanity for centuries, be sure to like and subscribe. There's so much more to uncover, and we're just getting started. The mysteries of the fallen angels, the pyramids, and lost knowledge are far from over. Join me on this journey to discover what's still waiting to be revealed.